You know, most comedians, when they introduce them, as they're coming up, they're, hey, as they're coming up.
Right.
Allan doesn't say a word. And he's quiet.
To the audience or to,
He doesn't to anybody.
Black guy that just brought him
It's
up?
silent.
To the black.
Watch next time Allan. Watch
about
next time Allan gets introduced. He doesn't say a fucking word. He doesn't make a noise.
Okay.
He gets on stage. He kind of gets himself situated. It's quiet, and people are like.
Oh yeah. I've seen
Yeah, he makes
some
some
you do that at the Shack
And then he
Talk.
just sits there and.
He's recording this. You know that.
We're on.
You guys thought I was Dave Chappelle, didn't you? He's clever, man. He's smart, man.
In the last special, and that's his last.
Colin,
you were?
Can I
The
get one more,
Dreamer?
bro?
You were?
I like a couple of points he's making, but there wasn't too much laughter in that
Where?
one at
Really?
Chappelle's.
Oh, you mean the last?
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. Yeah. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to a pocket party. Pocket party. They're wrong.
All right, guys, we're starting right now. Hey, this is Darren Carter, the party starter. You're listening to the Pocket Party Podcast. Little after show talk. I got a round table of the brightest minds in comedy. They were not able to make it. However,
Hello.
we've got
We'll fill in for you,
we got
Darren.
two of the brightest minds and two of the fill-ins.
I like comedy.
Wow. All right, so let's go around the room, and if you could, please get a little bit closer to this microphone. We only have one microphone here. So to my left, we have the one and only
Dean Larit.
a.k.a. Dr. Dean. You know him. He's one of the most popular guests on the Pocket Party Podcast.
J.D. Creviston.
And Jerry Seinfeld. No, I'm kidding. That's the worst fucking impression ever.
I don't know who that was.
Kevin Alderman.
Aldermaniac. Remember, he's the guy, if you guys go back about 5 or 10 episodes, he was on. We talked about comedy. We talked about his side hustle of cleaning windows and
Roommate
rent.
who died.
His roommate who died. That's right, people. They like that episode.
Bisexuality.
That was not supposed to be talked about here, Alan. You're going to get it when we get home.
And to my right, we have, and the final guest here is.
It's Allan Cunningham or AC, either or. I answer to both.
And if you guys go back, way back in the library, the catalog, I used to love doing this pre-pandemic, man. We'd do a comedy show.
Yeah.
After the show, there'd be like 6 comedians. We'd do a little, we'd go around the room and talk. And Allan had this great story about growing up in Detroit and his father, and he threatening to, I don't want to ruin your story because, you say it much better than I do. But can you tell us that little part? It's been 4 years since we told it. I love this story. It's the way he did it. It was on the edge of my seat.
Which one are you talking about?
Your father threatening to burn the house down.
Yeah, he was drunk, and he'd come home drunk and get mad because nobody was listening to him, and he'd get the gas can, and he'd threaten to burn the house down. And one time we woke up, and there was gasoline smell out in the house.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we went down in the basement. He had a lighter in his hand. And yeah, it was crazy. And I also told that story about the police choking me when I was a little kid in my high school.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I was on that podcast.
Yeah, you was on that. We was at Flappers.
Yeah.
Yes.
What happened with the police choking you? I don't remember that one.
We was at Flappers. I was in high school. And I was in high school, and then I was 15 years old, walking down the hallway, and the girl I had a crush on tripped. And I laughed because she tripped. I was like, aha. But I didn't know that the police tripped at the same time. Undercover cop. And so he ran over to me, grabbed me, slammed me against the locker, put his forearm in my throat.
Whoa.
He was squeezing my throat, and he was like, what the fuck is so funny? And I'm like, I grabbed his forearm to get some breath, because he lifted me off the floor. I grabbed his forearm to pull up and get some breath. He was like, stop resisting. So yeah, that was my second. Yeah, that was
In
my
high school?
in high school.
And why was he so mad that you were laughing at a little girl tripping?
No, because he thought I was laughing at him.
Oh.
Why was a cop in high school?
He was an undercover cop walking around the
21
school.
Jump Street.
Yeah, like 21 Jump Street.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh, so he tripped also?
yeah. I found out later on that he tripped at the same time.
Oh, my gosh.
He was
I remember-
pushing you against the wall. He'd be tripping.
Dude, that's so funny you said that, because I remember one time there was this bodybuilder at this Gold's Gym I used to go to, and this one girl, she goes, hey, can you imitate that bodybuilder's walk? And so I put my arms out. And the bodybuilder didn't see me. However, another bodybuilder saw me, and he thought I was making fun of his insecure ass.
Yeah.
And he's like, I saw your way you make fun of me. He's like, don't you know that I'm a black belt? I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a body. And I was like, dude, I was so scared. He's like, I go, I'm a comedian. I was just cracking jokes. And he goes, I don't give a f-. And he started like, you know. Dude, I was very scared. I don't even know if I went back to that gym.
He's scared. You know you're scared when you cancel your membership.
I was like, no, I'll just keep paying. I'll just keep paying.
Your contract, you have to let it go.
Yeah.
Reason for cancellation: shitting in pants.
Yeah. Don't make fun of bodybuilders.
I don't think I've ever had a person physically assault me or threaten me for laughing at them. I don't think I've ever had that happen to me before.
How old were you at that time?
I was 15 years old.
Oh, yeah.
I was in like the 10th grade, and like he said, insecurity.
Yeah.
This cop was such a bitch that he couldn't. It's not illegal to laugh at the police.
Right. I wonder if was he a real cop or like a security guard?
He was a detective.
Wow.
A real cop.
At your school?
Yeah.
Damn, what the hell were you guys doing there?
I went to
that
school
the
in
80s?
Detroit. Yeah, it was the 90s. It was the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, well, no, I'm sorry. It was the 80s.
Yeah. That was a big thing of putting putting officers in schools as undercover. That's where the 21 Jump Street thing came from.
Oh, really?
So that's how that started.
Yeah. You were homeschooled, so you wouldn't know, Kevin.
I have a GED, bro.
Yeah.
I got my education online.
Here's what I want to ask. So we just did a comedy show. It's the first night that they did it here. We're in Studio City. We're at a place called The Six. It's called The Six and Chow or something like that.
Six Chow House
Yeah.
on Ventura Boulevard.
And you're the guy that put it together. You're Kevin Alderman. You not only are you a comedian, you book comedians, you clean windows, you have a whole window cleaning business. You do like so many things. How did you find this place and what made it work?
Well, you didn't mention I was handsome. That's the biggest thing. I don't know why.
He didn't
that
want to
didn't
lie.
come up. I don't know why. I don't know why that didn't come up. That was the very first thing.
I know why.
I'm looking for places in LA to do quality comedy shows, to bring in quality comedians, and give the audience the best show that they can get. And I had found this place just going from basically door to door, if you will, really. And I walked in, and they have a separate room in the back, which is where we're at now. It's separate from the restaurant, so it's a private room.
How many places do you think you go to? And like, how many times do you hear no before you hear yes?
I hear like 1,000 no. No, I'm kidding. No, not. You know what? It's funny because LA is like, people, places in LA like entertainment. So it's almost like I don't really get a lot of no's, but I have to find a place that I like. Because I've done this enough where I know that if I do a show like in a bar or restaurant and it's open to like all the patrons who are there to come to the bar to watch a game or whatever, that's the worst scenario to put comedians in. So this is a separate place.
Yeah, because they're going to talk during the show, and they're not
Exactly,
going to.
right,
What's your advice? Because my advice to anybody is to start their own room. That way they get stage time. Because you're building up social currency. Like right now, you put on a lot of comedians that you already have a relationship with. But then like tonight, there was a couple that you just met. I'm sure, like Dustin Chafin, who opens for Nate Bargatze, and then word will get out. Like when this becomes like a great room, which is it's already on the way.
Right.
And then you're gonna get to know like. Chris Rock. I mean, all these people will definitely they'll pop in. I mean, it happened. I know several comedians that put on shows like this, and then like when Dave Chappelle's in town or someone's in town, it's like they pop up in the darndest spots, and it's like this could totally be one because it's right on Ventura Boulevard.
Absolutely. It's right here in Studio City, Ventura Boulevard. And what's cool about this place is all the different businesses in this strip mall, if you will, they all close at 6. So that means there's free parking all across the whole. This is the only place open in this whole place, and there's plenty of parking. It's free, and it's a really cool ass vibe here. The food's amazing.
And you know what? Don't take no for an answer because he's gone around to different places. They said no. Tell him about that Mexican restaurant in Burbank across from the bowling alley.
Oh my God, that place! I found that. So this Mexican, I forgot the name of it.
Celia's, I think.
Yeah, Celia's. They closed down after the pandemic, and then they opened up with the new ownership or whatever. And so when they opened up, I went in there and I met the manager, talked to them, told them about the idea of a comedy show, and they have a separate room as well. And so they were loving the idea. I'm like, well, let's just get our shit together, if you will. And so I kept going back like every few weeks, going, hey, you guys ready? And like, oh yeah, the manager's really, or the owner's really ready for this. But after a while, it's like, they just stop responding to me. So I'm like, well, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to go on something else. Next thing you know, someone else got the room, though.
Yeah, someone else has been doing comedy there for 4 months.
Yeah.
And I'm booked there next week.
So I gave up.
True story.
I gave up on the room because they weren't responding, and someone else got it.
But that's okay because it got a fire under your ass to like go find another spot.
Exactly right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, listen. If you want to do, I don't know who's listening to this podcast, but if you want comedy, you just got to go fucking it. You got to go after it, man. Yeah. You got to go. It's not going to come to your door. You got to go get it somehow.
Absolutely. I want to ask you guys about Allan. You and I both do Earthquakes radio show. Mm-hmm. You've done a lot longer than I have. Did you happen to who here has seen the Katt Williams interview from start to finish?
I have.
You have? You saw it from start to finish?
Absolutely. You were the one who told me. You were the one who sent me the link. You're the one who sent me the link, and I remember the first half hour. I was like, "Oh, this is going to be good." There's a couple of things that were a little odd. I thought it was interesting how he said when he was 8 years old. When he was 8 years old, he said he was reading 3,000 books a year, which I did the math. Comes out to 8.9 books a day, which what he forgot to tell people was they were coloring books.
That's Dean Larit, guys. Katt Williams. That's Dean Larit.
That was my first joke, Katt.
Wow. So I did you see it?
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't listened to it either.
That's cool.
Snippets.
Allan, how are you, by the way?
What kind of a good friend I am. I show up 4 hours comedy late. I thought it would be tomorrow.
I know, isn't that hilarious? Allan, have you ever worked with Katt Williams?
Yeah, I used to work with Katt all the time. We were old friends, actually. He used to call me every morning to fuck with me to see was I still asleep. And,
really?
Yeah.
What would he say to you, though?
He used to be like, are you up? Because don't nothing come to a dreamer, don't nothing come to a dreamer, but don't nothing come to a sleeper but a dream. Whatever he used to
He's
say.
fucking with you.
Yeah,
Trying to motivate you.
Yeah, trying to motivate me to get up and do it. So I used to work together all the time.
What time would he call? Like how early?
Like 9, sometimes 8. You know, not like 5 or 6 in the morning. No, like
8 or 9.
And for a comedian, especially when we were younger, we out all night eating at a diner and whatever. We get home around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So he'd call me to see was I up.
Do you know if he lives in L.A. now?
Oh, I have no. He lives in Calabasas.
He does?
Really?
No, I'm sorry, Malibu.
That's not by me.
Yeah, he lives in Malibu.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
Can't hit me up.
Hey, tell your story about Katt Williams.
So I got to, I which one?
The one that you told me the other night was really cool. That you'd see him at the Comedy Store and he offered you.
Oh yeah. So I saw him at the Comedy Store. We did a show. We did a college in Florida, and it was a great show. It was Coco Brown, Bruce, Darren Carter, and Katt Williams. And I don't remember the order. I think I was first. I want to say Bruce was the host, and Katt Williams was the headliner, or the other way around. All I know is it was a great show, and I got paid a lot of money, and I was probably the least paid on that show. We each got our own individual like limousines, and I ended up hanging out with Katt all night, like him and his crew. And I remember at that time he had like this bodyguard that had like these black guy with the blue cowboy boots and the light, and like his eyes were light, like blue eyes, blue cowboy boots. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I remember we went to a nightclub, and I remember how polite Katt was to everybody. He's like, hello, sir, and the driver. And I remember he had to get up early because he was going to go golfing the next day. And I just thought the whole thing was really cool, man. And I remember doing a show with him another time, even before he blew up. We did a theater in Bakersfield, California. It was the Fox Theater.
I remember the Fox.
Yeah, the Fox Theater. And the promoter had hired him to host the show. Like he was like the MC, and he killed, but he wasn't like famous yet. It was probably before that really big special came out. Like he was hilarious and funny, but he wasn't like famous yet. It's such a trip when I see like how incredible his like he said, all those specials, all the things he does. And so I saw him at the Comedy Store, and I was like, and I hadn't seen him in years, a couple of years, and I was like, Katt, I love your comedy. And he goes, as do I, sir, as do I. Like it was very cool like that. And he was like, Mr. Carter. I remember he goes, Mr. Carter. And then he made me an offer. He goes, I have 2 opportunities for you. And I said, what are they? And one was to do, I now my memory could be a little bit fuzzy here, but I think he said to do a couple of scenes in a movie that he had coming out. And after my set, he goes, follow me. And I got the script. He goes, or to go on tour with me. And I want to say he it was going to be a lot of money, like a lot of money.
He pays well.
Yeah. And I was like, but it was about, I don't even remember. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember the exact details, but it would have been, I would have had to have been gone a long time. And I was like, gosh, man, I'm a dad. I got my son. He's like, as you guys know, even when you're gone for like a week, you come back, your child's like, whoa, like you're getting, And I was like, man, I don't know. So I go, Katt, this is a tough decision. I could see how it would be. That's what he said. I go, could I do both? They go, one or the other. And I was like, dang. I was like, I said, I remember thinking like, I don't know if I want to be gone that long. So I told him, I go, let me take a look at the script. I think I want to do the movie. And plus I'm thinking, even if we make less money on the movie, at least it's out there forever and it pops up on cable and residuals. And also, I was in the original room at the Comedy Store, which is like the smaller room. Probably seats, 250, 200, 300? I don't know.
The original room?
Yes.
I don't know, 200.
150. So it's not the main room, but there's 150, but there's only about maybe 11 people in there. And I did not want him to see my set because I knew I was like, I don't want to, he's making me these offers. Like probably his last memories is me killing at those, that big show that we did. And so I said, so he goes, I'll talk to you after your set. I'm like, perfect. And dude, I went on stage and everyone about 4 minutes in, 5 maybe, I don't know, it's because you see at that time you do about 15-minute set. I remember I'm on stage and there was a bunch of like lights going on and like flashing lights like from the police. And I get off stage and everyone's distracted, they're looking out there. I go, what happened? They go, oh, someone has a gun. They threatened a gun. And I'm like, what? And there's all these cops and they shut down Sunset Boulevard. And apparently the rumor is, and you guys can Google this, they were like, someone was like, Katt Williams had a gun and he didn't want someone taking his picture. So that was the last I actually saw of him. So
I actually Googled that when you told me that
What'd
story.
you find out?
I Googled it and it was Katt Williams. According to the news, it was Katt Williams was having an altercation of some type with a heckler, which didn't make sense because he was off stage. He was out of the club practically. But then upon further research, it was like somebody like a gang member type thing was just trying to threaten him, and that's what it was. According to this news report, he was trying to defend himself from some type of gang member who was trying to threaten him.
Wow.
But then he said he never got charged for anything. He said he never had a gun, so it was just rumors that he had a gun. So someone reported that he had a gun when he really didn't. Yeah. So that was the thing. He says, I reported it because someone accused me of having a gun, which I really didn't. So, but that was your last time talking.
That was an interesting night because I was like, wow, I swear to God, man. I went on stage, like I was like, I hope he doesn't come in the room because like I said, there's like 10, 11 people there. But number two, I felt like this weight was lifted where I was like, wow, my life could really change for the better right now. This is crazy. Like, because you always want that, right? In comedy, right, Dean? You want that person to see you and be like, I like your style. I like what you do.
Yeah.
What are you doing this weekend? You want to that's what you want, you know?
I have something similar to that, not as dramatic as that, but actually might be dramatic because my first time ever getting booked in the main room, which by the way, I still haven't played, but I got booked in the main room and I was excited. This is my first time going to the main room
at the Comedy Store.
At the Comedy Store. This was the big deal, right? It was an outside booker's show, and a friend of mine got me the spot, right? So like a week before that spot was supposed to take place, that's when that dude got murdered on the Comedy Store patio. Do you remember that shit?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I thought you said it's not as dramatic.
It is pretty dramatic.
That's way more dramatic. A guy got gunned down at the Comedy Store.
The thing is, for me, what happened was
right on the
patio.
On the patio, on the front patio by the bar. Yeah,
right on the patio.
Was it like on a Monday night potluck thing?
Yeah, and I was there that night, and I left, and then like literally 30 minutes later, that shit happened. But then what happened was...
That was also a gang thing, wasn't it?
It was a gang.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you guys want to be heard, you got to get a little closer to the microphone.
It was a gang thing, yes, definitely. The guy apparently just knew who he was targeting and got out of his car, walked across the street, found out his boom and hit the guy, boom, and then left. And that was it. But what happened was the Comedy Store decided we're not going to do the main room crowd that was I was booked on, and they're like, we're not doing that. We're going to cancel it. So my first time ever being booked at the main room of the Comedy Store got canceled because someone got murdered at the Comedy Store, and I still have not yet fucking done the Comedy Store.
What groups have you done at the Comedy Store?
I've done the Belly Room and I did the OR once.
Alan, what have you done?
I've done all 3 rooms. Kevin,
Shut
you a bad luck. And so I did the last time I did the main room. Well, one of the last times I did the main room, which was so funny. It was packed, and I'm on stage, and everybody's laughing, and I see Katt Williams in the house. He's sitting in the audience because he's so short. It was Katt Williams and it was Kevin Hart. They was not sitting together. But they were so short that they were watching the show, and both of them was leaned to the side because they couldn't see over the top of the people's heads. So they was both leaned to the side like this, looking at me, laughing.
The Comedy Store should have high chairs available for certain people.
It was so funny. I saw both of them sitting in the audience, and both of them at the same time was laughing
hilarious.
and leaning over to the side like this, laughing at me on
That's
stage.
good. That's a good feeling. I remember one time I was on stage and Damon Wayans was laughing at me, and it's like, it just feels good, right? You're like,
Yeah.
he'll do that, right?
Yeah, Damon Wayans is a beast on stage. He is like a lot of the older comedians. A lot of them may not be funny or whatever. I don't know how you feel about some of them, but Damon Wayans is a monster on stage. He is so damn funny and cool as hell.
He's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
When I used to manage be the showroom manager at Melrose, he was a big name at times, still a big name, but he was huge back then, and he would come in and just sit on the stool and do like an hour on a Friday night. He would just come in. It was supposed to be a 20-minute set, but he would do like an hour, and then we got to the point we weren't even flickering the lights anymore. It was just like, this guy's just going to keep going. But he was, oh man, he was a beast on stage. Yeah, Melrose Improv.
Let me ask you guys a question about the Golden Globes. Joe Coy was on the biggest stage in the world this last week, and did anybody see it?
I watched
I just looked at it on YouTube today. His monologue, I saw it today on YouTube. The shit was funny.
Yeah. Really?
It was from the beginning to the end. He got frustrated a minute because he was like, I just got this 10 days ago, man. Relax. Like, calm down or whatever. But he was funny from the beginning to the end, even though the actresses or whatever, because they're sensitive, artists are sensitive people.
They're actors.
Yeah, they, you know what I'm saying? So he brings them up and they scared he's going to talk about them. So, they didn't know how to act. Because he said that one joke about a Barbie, Ryan, because he said I've never been so attracted to a plastic doll in my life. You know what I'm saying? Then he was like, with these pretty blue eyes and blonde hair. He said, yeah, Ryan. Yeah. And Ryan didn't laugh. Everybody laughed except him. He's looking like, why you messing with me?
Yeah.
But Joe Coy was funny.
Yeah, it's funny because I think the reviews and the things they try to go in on him, and it might have been a lot of Taylor Swift fans.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of that going on, and he looked a little out of his element, but he killed, man. I thought he did a great job for what it was. It's like, come on, you get 10-day notice and you go up there and do. Have you guys? And also, we've all had rough shows. Imagine having a rough show like that, like on television. That's just everyone's talking about it.
And then while he's on the stage, 10-day notice, he's on stage, on television, in front of millions of people, and he also has to read the teleprompter. He has so much pressure on him, and the dude still killed it. He was funny as hell to me.
Dude, Joe Coy's hilarious. Have you seen his the dude fills out theaters and crushes
Alone.
theaters.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea that these Hollywood people, and that's the thing. It's interesting that we're talking about this because do you remember at the Comedy Store? Were you there? Yeah, the night with Jimmy Schubert at the Comedy Store when I offended Bobby Lee. Were you there?
Yeah, we was there.
Yeah, you were there.
What?
Dude,
You have to
bro.
tell that story.
Oh my God, dude. So I'm talking to me and Schubert and Bobby Lee are hanging out at the Comedy Store talking, right? And so I'm talking to Bobby Lee, and Bobby Lee's telling me some things. He's like, I want to be a comedian, but I don't want to. I want to be in the Hollywood scene, and I'm like, you want to be in the Cool Kids Club, right? He goes, yeah, I want to be in the Cool Kids Club. I've never been in the Cool Kids Club. I go, yeah, but you're doing so well, Bobby. What do you mean? You're successful. You're there. You're doing great. Right. You're making money. You got 2 podcasts that are great, and Mad TV, you're amazing. He goes, well, Mad TV, Saturday Night Live just snubbed their nose at Mad TV. They thought we were rejects and we were the scrubs or whatever. I go, fuck them, man. You were great. And I go, you were great at that character that played the lady at the laundromat. What was her name?
Miss Swan.
He goes, Miss Swan? I go, yeah, you were great at Miss Swan. He goes, that wasn't me, bro. I go, what do you mean that wasn't you? He goes, that was Alex Bornstein or whatever her name was. I go, no way. He pulls out his phone. He goes, this is who you're talking about? I go, oh, shit. Sorry, bro. Sorry, bro.
It makes me think, what's the most embarrassing thing you've said to a celebrity?
And he
Wait,
walked.
hold on. Tell him what he did.
And
After.
he got up and just walked away. And I'm like, oh, shit, Bob, I'm so sorry. And then he's looking at me from across the patio in the Comedy Store. He looks at me, and I was going to walk to him. He goes, stay away from me. Just get away from me. Don't go. Yes, he was so. But I'm like, you know what? Bobby, like, all props to him. I'm not trying to dog him.
Funny dude.
But God,
what it is
bro.
Kevin Alderman is extremely racist. He thought Bobby Lee was a Korean woman.
Exactly. Who invited the black guy? Why are you even here, bro?
Hey, Alan, have you ever said anything embarrassing to a celebrity? Or you drive home going, damn, I wish I didn't say that. Has it happened to you yet?
Oh my God, yes. Okay, I've been waiting to see him do it. I owe this man an apology. Kevin Hart, right? I was. It was Naeem Lynn went on stage. One of his openers. We was at the Haha Cafe. Naeem went on stage. After Naeem, Kevin Hart went up there. After Kevin, I went up there. Closed the show out. It was a good night. It was boom, boom, boom. Great comedy all the way through. I closed the show out, and Kevin and his wife was sitting over here. They laughing at the show, him and his wife or whatever. I thought Kevin had left. I didn't know he was still there.
Yeah.
So I walked past, and Kevin popped out. He was like, man, that last joke, man, is real powerful. I said, oh, thanks, man. Patted him on the shoulder and walked away. I treated him like, man, one day you're going to be on my level.
Oh, no.
Because what happened is I just left the doctor's office.
Yeah.
And I was, you know what I'm saying, I was waiting for some bad news about my stomach. It was some health issue bullshit. And my mind wasn't right that night. And when I saw him, you know, after he told me, he said, that last joke you did was so powerful. And I pat him on the shoulder like, thank you.
Was he
walked
mega
away.
famous? Was he mega famous at the time?
This was 2 years ago.
Oh, so he's
Yes, this just happened.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen him since, and I just want to, you know, when I see him, just going to, you know, what's so funny is I saw his.
Next, Dean. Think of a story.
Yeah, I saw a few of his openers, right, and they said, you know what's crazy? He never says that to nobody.
Wow. Wow.
Yes. So they told me that one of them was a good friend of mine, Joey Wells. He said, next time you see him, man, explain it to him. And I will. I'm going to explain it to him. I was at the studio a couple of months ago, and Kevin was there, and I actually saw him from behind, and I was like, oh shit. So I jumped up. I was on the radio, but I jumped up and went outside to go catch him. It wasn't him. It was a stand-in.
Dang. You're apologizing to the stand-in?
Yeah. I haven't. So I'm still looking for Kevin. Still haven't seen him yet, man. It's
Wow.
crazy. I feel
And you know
bad.
what's crazy? He was running his hour. He was running his hour at the Comedy Chateau in North Hollywood, like a couple of nights a week. He was there, man. And I'd see him all the time. I was talking to him in the back room with Chris Spencer. But yeah, he was.
One time he thought
was
you
accessible.
didn't you told me you go, I think he thinks I'm the owner of the chateau.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
When he first came in, you know?
Yeah, because he for some reason he just saw like I sort of knew a lot about comedy and blah blah blah, and yeah, he did. He thought I was the owner, which is actually Felix McNulty is the owner.
Dean, you talk to a lot of celebrities, you meet a lot of people. Tell us a story about maybe something you're like, I wish I didn't say that, you know?
The only time I ever regretted saying anything, but I was lucky. I got very lucky. Alan, I think you might know this story because I might have said this. Was Mike Tyson in the late '80s in 1988? In 1988, Mike Tyson moved into the building I was living in Manhattan, and I would come home at crazy hours of the night, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I was a male stripper back then. I was 24 years old, and I would come home at around the same time that Mike was coming in, around the same time, and which was like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, and So I got to know him because we would be coming home at the same time. And finally, after seeing each other and sitting on the couch in a doorman building and shooting the breeze because we were both tired, but we were just like finishing out the night, the evening, okay? And we would talk. And finally, he would see me and he would go, "Hey, let me ask you something, man. What is it you do for a living and everything?" And so I was like, truthfully, Mike, I'm a male stripper." And he was like, "Oh, man, you got to be kidding me, man. You got women pulling down your pants and your underwear and everything?" I said, "Well, not my underwear, Mike. I have G-string on. But, oh, man, that's crazy, brother. That's crazy." So he took a liking to me because I was, this building was full of CPAs, doctors, lawyers, and blah, blah, blah. And then there was a guy living in there was a male stripper. So this is a true story, God's honest truth. My brother passed away a few months ago. This is truth on his grave, okay? So Mike got to know me pretty well. I'd see him in nightclubs. He would be with thugs and gangsters and all these people, and I would go over and they would get up like almost intimidating, like, who's this guy? And he'd go, "No, that's my neighbor, man. He's totally cool. Don't worry about it." So I got to know him pretty well. And one day I'm waiting for a cab in very cold weather in Manhattan, and Mike sees me. He's parked like 80 feet away from me, and he sees me and he gives me the beep beep, and I look and I see it's Mike, and he rolls down the window and he goes, "Come on in the car, man. Don't freeze, man. Come in the car, hang out." And I go into his car and there's nobody in the car. It's just Mike. No entourage, no gangsters, nobody. And I swing around the car, the front of the car, because I was on his side at that point. I swing around, and as I put my left butt cheek into the passenger seat, and I get ready to put my right butt cheek into the passenger seat, my brain is overcome by a massive amount of sound coming out of his
Like the
radio.
woofers, the subs, the whole...
This is in the day
Yeah.
with the 25 woofers and the tweeters. Okay, I mean sound that blew away a nightclub. Okay,
Right. So what happened? You get in the car?
Okay, I get in the car. I close the door, which now makes it a vacuum of sound. Okay, and I did something that I thought was going to potentially end my life. I went like this. I swear on a stack of Bibles. I went, "Mike, are you out of your fucking mind?" And I grabbed the dial to the volume. Okay, right? It's just me and him. And I go, "Are you out of your fucking mind?" And I turned his radio down. Okay.
And then you popped it onto a talk radio show.
And then I said to him, as I lowered the radio, I go, "You're going to lose your fucking hearing by 28. He said, "Are you crazy, man?" And I'm talking to the most scariest human being on the planet at that time, and still is even a little bit on the planet scary. So, and I literally, as those words came out of my mouth, I went, "That was not," I said, "That was not a smart thing to do." And the very next day, I thought he was going to say, "Hey, you know something, man? Get the fuck out of my car, man. I don't where you get off talking like that to me and playing my radio or something like that. Where you?" And that's what I thought was going to happen. And instead, I get a guy who all of a sudden feels like, well, he's not kissing my ass. He's not like, sitting in there in a explosion in the car. He's willing to say something, and he goes like this to me. He goes, "Can I really lose my hearing?" And I go, I go, "Are you serious, man? You're gonna fucking blow your eardrums out." And he kept the thing down. He didn't touch it and everything like that. He goes, "Oh man, I didn't know it was that dangerous for my ears and all that stuff." He goes, "All right, man, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you, man, telling me that." And that was it. I thought I was gonna get hit, but instead, he looked at. Remember, I was 24. He was 22. So I was like sort of like the older brother that the white guy that he's like, "I like this guy, man. I like this dude. He makes me laugh," and he was cool. And,
Dude, great story.
Thing I've ever.
Well, listen, they're sweeping up. We gotta get out of here. You guys, make sure you follow these guys. Their names are in the credits, and that's it, man. If you guys like this podcast, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and let people know that you like it.
Social media.
Yeah.
My social media, really quick. This is Allan Cunningham, AC. My social media, really quick. Follow me because I'm about to shoot a special. And if you're in town, you can come see it. It is I Am Allan AF. And you spell Allan, ALLAN. I Am Allan AF. It's on Instagram. Holla at me.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Alan.
Yeah.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to The Pocket Party.